Notre Dame allowed 8 first downs through the first 3 quarters in Indiana, but took the early lead on a 98-yard touchdown run by Jeremiah Love and held the lead over the last 56 minutes of the game. I'm Tim Priester with Tim O'Malley and John Brice, and this is Irish Illustrated's Instant Analysis, brought to you by RVMH Hall of Fame in Elkhart, Indiana. It wasn't always pretty, especially in the fourth quarter when Notre Dame gave up 9 of the 17 first downs that Indiana accrued through the game. But Jeremiah Love, big 98-yard run. He's not healthy. He's hobbling around. He was sick. He was coughing after the game. And Notre Dame managed the game after that. But as we said in the pregame, of the 2 lines, we were a little bit more concerned about the Notre Dame offensive line. And outside of the 98-yard run, Notre Dame struggled a little bit. But look, there are no polls next week, nothing like that. Notre Dame advances to play Georgia in the Sugar Bowl.
Marcus Freeman called it ugly and a bit of a fight in there, and it was. I mean, I think Jeremiah Love had 108, 109 yards, 98 on that one carry. Another one was an incredible highlight reel where he ran over someone stiff-armed and almost scooted down the sidelines. But it was a tough road to hoe in there for a lot of the time. Jadarian Price, 9 run stuffs, tackles for loss. After a while, they started getting a little pressure on Riley Leonard. He's hard to sack. He gets away, but that doesn't make Notre Dame's offense efficient. I honestly believe, JB, that at some point during that game, Mike Denbrock realized we have control of the other side of scrimmage. We're going to be prudent with what we're doing here. We're going to grind them into a submission. We're not going to take too many shots.
Yeah, I thought, and we kind of asked Marcus Freeman this post game, but I thought Notre Dame opened up its season in the biggest spotlight in college football down in College Station, Texas, and sent a message with its physicality. And I thought tonight Notre Dame kind of bookended what it's done through 13 games with the way that it was physical through this game. And, yes, Notre Dame had a bunch of run stuffs. I noticed that both teams each had 10 tackles for loss apiece. You're right, Jeremiah Love, 8 runs for 108 yards, 98 on one of those runs. But Notre Dame was the better team. We said that, and Notre Dame was the more physical team. And even the true freshman Anthony Knapp showed it on Jeremiah Love's touchdown run. Notre Dame not perfect, a whole lot to learn from, and Marcus Freeman stressed that. But Notre Dame moves on, 1 of 8 left standing.
Notre Dame held Indiana to 4 of 12 on third down, and most of the time it was 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12. They were behind the chains, and that was exactly what they had to do. Notre Dame offensively, although they sputtered at times in the run game, they were 7 for 13 on third down. A lot of that happening early on when they were able to take a 23-7 lead. At that point, I mean, it was pretty much lights out, and then Notre Dame couldn't possess the football and couldn't get off the field defensively.
Well, I think the other key was that they couldn't recover an onside kick, because it really should have been 27-11. Yeah. Bo Collins just has to reach out and grab an onside kick that the kicker took from him. That's literally a scoutable. They went right back at him. It's a scoutable thing at this point, as is jumping over Notre Dame's field goal line, because they're going to have one blocked by Georgia too. That is an epidemic going on right now. Great to see Mitch Jeter hit that kick. You could see the reaction from Mitch Jeter, Marcus Freeman, and everybody on that team. It was a huge 49-yarder, not just because it was near the end of the half either. That was a sense of relief.
The entire sideline went berserk.
That was the second biggest play of the game. I really believe that. I mean, behind Jeremiah Love's touchdown run, that was the biggest moment of the game. It sent a message, and that was Marcus Freeman again being aggressive and smart with his clock management right before the half, and electing. We kind of thought, okay, it's 4th and 5. There's 11 seconds left. We'll Notre Dame try to get Jeter a little closer and then kick the field goal. And you guys sort of looked over at me when he trotted out there for the 49-yard field goal. I won't pretend that I knew it was going in, but I'd picked him to make a damn field goal, so he made a field goal.
And he drilled it. There's no doubt about that. That was a 49-yarder. He also had a 33-yarder. He had one blocked. Marcus Freeman said he felt like the kick was low. Tim, you and I saw all the defense of the front guys for Indiana. There were at least 3 guys that had a clear shot at blocking the kick. So that's something they're going to have to work on. But, hey, Jordan Faison, 7 catches for 89 yards, almost a long touchdown. They've been trying to get him involved a little bit more. They finally did. He had a key drop early on, but after that, 7 catches for 89 yards.
And I believe 11 different guys caught passes today from Riley Leonard. So by no means Riley Leonard's best day. He at times, and he talked about how stressed he had been. I thought that was interesting post-game, that he said he's stressed every week. And I think maybe some of that showed. But then once he used his legs more, I thought he got more comfortable, but he still did a good job of moving the ball around. They still showed that all 3 guys, Riley, 4 guys, because Aeneas Williams was an unsung hero in this game. So they still showed they have a lot of weapons. They also showed they have a tremendous amount to improve on, and now we sit here and wonder and wait, how severe is Riley Mills' injury? It looked like Brice Young was not that significant, and then they had shuffles on the offensive line due to injuries as well, guys.
Everybody's happy for Jaden Thomas, scores a touchdown. Great call there, completely caught Indiana off guard.
They caught him in a run blitz too. It's really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Riley Leonard was 23 of 32 for 201 yards. He threw the early pick. He said he comes out, he makes the first pass. He's wondering, dude, what are you doing? You're throwing interceptions. But he settled down. I thought that he didn't, he didn't make his normal sound decisions in the run game. It seemed like, and now, look, at the end of the day, we've been saying for 3 weeks, Indiana has a good defense. Notre Dame didn't play as well as you like up front. Indiana has a good defense, and they showed it today.
I'm going to borrow from you. I don't think he made sound decisions up front in the run game because Indiana confused him and made it hard to make sound decisions. I think that's what they do well. That's why they had the number 1 ranked rush defense and the teams they played against. But you're not number 1 if you're not good at it. You'd be number 25 or something along those lines. So this is not a Georgia comment, but I'm telling you, when we next see them play, Notre Dame is going to have a different approach, because this was how they knew they could win this game as the game settled in. When Jeremiah Love made the run, when they got the field goal, when they're up by a little bit, I think Notre Dame knew in cold temperatures it's really hard to attack. This was not a passing game. You could not go out there and pass the ball around, as I joked, unless you're Tom Brady. It was not going to be a successful passing day. I think they realize how they're going to win this game, and I think they know they can't quite approach it with every throw was under 9 yards except for 2 deep balls to phase on, one which is caught. They'll be more aggressive. This was survive in advance, and they survived in advance relatively easily. I mean, the score has nothing to do with this game.
Yeah, and there were times they not only survived but thrived, and I'm not sure that the looks they'll get from Georgia will be as exotic, because Georgia, frankly, has better players on its defense than Georgia, and Georgia tends to just say, we're going to line up and come at you because our guys are better than your guys. So Notre Dame saw a lot of stuff that a young offensive line really had not seen over the course of this entire season. They'll be better for it right now. They'll be a lot better for it long term. But it's certainly, to me, the number one thing to look at coming out of this game, aside from player health.
Xavier Watts continues to play like an All-American. 10 tackles, of course, the key interception. John, as you mentioned, 10 tackles for loss. So Notre Dame did what they had to do defensively. Now, we look back to the offensive line now, because we don't know. Right? Rocco Spindler was not dressed in the second half. That happened late in the second quarter. I don't know.
I don't remember him going out, but he did not start the second half.
So Sam Pendleton moved in his spot at right guard, where he didn't play when he was a starter. He was on the left side. So we'll see where they go from here. There's 11 days between now and the Sugar Bowl, so there's some healing that needs to be done. Jeremiah Love still needs to heal a little bit. He got hit along the Notre Dame sideline, and we saw him limp off.
That looked like a painful hit that made him limp, not a knee hit that made him limp, though.
And I felt like, again, coming out of the USC game, just the natural assumption that he'll be okay because of the way it looked. He wasn't. It took him time to recover. When we were out there on practice on Monday, he didn't look very good, and then we come to find out that he said, I didn't feel very good either. So he's a warrior. He came back in 98 yards. Somebody suggested to him after the game that he was almost caught, and he said, I wasn't going to get caught. And he knows how, and we've seen him do that all year. He knows how fast he needs to go, and he's just a spectacular football player.
He actually knew he was finna score, and that's a direct quote. And then we got to ask Mike Denbrock about Jeremiah Love, and I said, how do you either explain or describe what he does at this point? And he said, I'm blessed to coach him. He is the engine. I thought that was really interesting, because we all talk about what Riley Leonard means to this team, and he does a lot for sure. But for Mike Denbrock, after the biggest game that Notre Dame's played all season, one of the biggest games that Notre Dame has played in some time, Mike Denbrock says Jeremiah Love is the engine, and he's special, and he can run away from guys, and he can hurdle guys, and he can basically do anything he wants to on a football field.
T.O., final thoughts?
Yeah, 13 games in, and I think Al Golden's defense is the best unit on the field in 11 of them.
Yeah.
Northern Illinois' defense was the best in one, and then I think Notre Dame's offense has been the best in one once as well.
For the first time in Notre Dame history, they will play a 14th game in the season. It'll be against the Georgia Bulldogs, the number 2 seed in the college football playoffs. This has been Instant Analysis brought to you by RVMH Hall of Fame in Elkhart, Indiana. Stay with us. We'll be doing a live stream. Irish Illustrated's
Overtime.
Overtime.